in the enclosure. So my numbers here are 10, 11, 4 and 3, and I just thought a couple of others that looked well with the 7 and the 14 for those that may be interested. But 10, 11, 4 and 3, Joe.
And that is Dress Code and Charmboo you're referring to. Let's go to an interview earlier. I caught up with Stephen Baster, the rider of Dansoir. Stephen, this wind out here today in Dansoir with the nice Sally, looks like you could be the surprise horse of the millions.
Yeah, he's a tough horse, and he's had 3 starts to date, and he keeps improving every start. So it's a nice win last start. So drawn well, he should race on the pace, and he should have every chance from there.
Was he feeling a little fresh on the way out last time out?
He's a little bit of a handful to ride. He is a little bit of a handful to ride, but he's a bit of a lad, so I'm sure we'll get him over that.
Now, as far as the dangers go today, whereabouts do you think you'll be in running, and who is the biggest danger?
I think Hasna's definitely the danger, but we should be up sort of out of trouble. Hopefully, we'll probably be in the first 5 or 6. So hopefully we can let a couple go and just sit off them.
Now, you've had no luck up here. You've been on a few fancies in years gone by. Perhaps today is your big day?
Yeah, that's right. I can't ride Happy Giggle up here a few years ago, and he didn't have the best of luck on the day. And but you never know. Today might be the day.
And news from the track is that Danbird's the one they're putting the money on course. It's second favourite on the tote, still at $6.10. Well, Toowoomba will be cheering home Express Ball in the Magic Millions this year, and its rider is Starthy Katsidis, who Larry Olsen spoke with earlier.
Well, Stathy's done everything right, this fella, and but you've come up with a bad draw.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him draw an alley. If he drew an alley, I would have said he's definitely going to finish in the prize money. From out there, I've got some sort of a special plan, I hope. He's going to just probably, he always gets away a little bit slow, and I'm just going to try and aim to scoot over right in behind him and hopefully end up midfield on the fence, maybe a fraction worse. I still think the horse is a great each way chance, but I think he'll be a better 3-year-old, so we'll see how we go.
Thanks, pal.
Thanks, Larry.
And like Express Ball, Charmview is a last start winner going into this race. One of the long shots, Charmview. It'll be ridden by Brad Pengelly. Here he is with his thoughts on how she performed today.
Brad, you look a bit like I did when I was riding, a little bit short of fluid.
Yeah, it gets like that, doesn't it, Les?
It does, mate, yeah. You've been wasting a bit to ride this horse, but you don't do these unless you think you've got a bit of a hope on this Charmview.
Yeah, that's right. I don't normally ride under 54 too often, but these opportunities, you just got to make sure you do it, yeah.
You haven't been here at the Gold Coast before?
Never before in the Gold Coast, no. So we'll hopefully make it successful.
Right, tell us a bit about Charmview. It was a very nice win in the last start.
She was, and it was a nice run to start before, Larry. She was caught wide from a wide barrier, and hasn't beat us fairly and squarely. You know, she beat us by about 5 lengths, but my mare, she got on the wrong leg and she travelled wide. You know, there was excuses there, and she come out and prevailed in her most recent start, and won with quite authority too. She ran in good time. You know, she's got a big job ahead of her, but I think she'll improve and hopefully see her get somewhere there.
Okay, mate. All the people in Gladstone will be cheering you on too.
Cheers, mate.
Okay.
Hasna continues to dominate betting. It's $2.70 is clearly the top pick for this race, with Gay Waterhouse aiming to win her 3rd Magic Millions. Danbird remains second favourite at $6.10, then $10 How Funny, Snippy 12, Helter Skelter 13, Regimental Gal 13, Spinning Boy $16 and Merhoob $19. With a minute until they jump, let's cross to Alan Thomas.
Yes, the countdown 60 seconds away officially. We'll probably run a tad behind post-advertised starting time for this year's $1 million Conrad Jupiter's Magic Millions TRL Classic. But these runners over behind the gates, and they'll be loaded in a matter of moments. Dansoir was the last to go over behind the gates. So the 16 runners are all behind the stalls. So the gates have been closed in front. These runners are about to be called forward. It's always a tense time for owners and trainers, putters and broadcasters before races like the Magic Millions. It's really taken its place on the Australian turf calendar, and this year's no exception. There's Hasna. It's walking around with the white sleeves and the spots. Imperialism number 2. Charmview walks around. Danbird's been well back to win the race. Hasna's getting out. Putters wanted a little bit more than the 10-9 they offered at the call of the card the other day. And bookies, I think, were always going to bet that. Punters weren't coming into the 10-9, and it's now 260 on Unitab. Just trying to see what else they've spec'd. Not much. Danbird looks as though he's the one that they've come for to beat Hasna. in this year's Magic Millions. And hasn't he had a very, very long, short history, if I can put it to you that way. Dan Bird, he's only been around for 3 race starts, and there's been more written about him in 3 starts than others in 30. He's got a lot to live up to with his price tag and the fact that he's Catbird's brother. Now they're coming into the gates. Snippy's gone in, so too now is Dress Code. Spinning Boy's gone into number 2 gate. Dansoir backed away. Nibbler's on the toe. Nibbler was the horse at the call of the card that both Bevan Lamming, who trains him, and Dick Caraman, who owns him, or who owns her, had the bet of 250,000 to 1,000 each way, each of them. With Vince Aspinall, I think it was, so Vince will be a bit shaky if Nibbler hits the front in the straight. Now Dan Bird's gone in. I think the fast pace will be the key to him. Dansoir's rider's got from the saddle Stephen Baster, and the Dan Zero colt's about to go in riderless. Now we'll get to the Gay Waterhouse trio drawn in the middle shortly as Helter Skelter comes up with Merhoob, and then we get to La Spellia, and then How Funny and Hasna, all drawn beside each other. Imperialism, the other runner's drawn out. Snippy's got the fence. Charm View's behind the line. So too is Express Ball. So Helter Skelter's been placed away. Merhoob goes into the gates. So we've got half the line complete. Now La Spellia goes forward. So does How Funny. So Gay started off on the right note with the 3-year-old trophy win with Biagio. And she has 5 runners here, and there's already been a big buyer at the sales in 2003. Express Ball's gone in. He had the 1 alley when he won in town the other day. He's drawn out today. Here's Hasna. Here's your favourite. There she is. The Snippets filly, the daughter of the inaugural winner of this race, the great Snippets back in 1987. Kaznadim and Imperialism to come up. Charm View will be the last. So Imperialism goes in. Hasna's at 240, Dan Bird into 650. They're the 2 under double figures. Kaznadim is set. Charm View's riders out of the saddle. Brad Pengelly. And Charm View comes in riderless. And Brad Pengelly goes back aboard and the line's complete. So stand by for a start. Magic Millions Classic 2003. Jeff Fanning ducks under the rail, climbs the platform. Hasna drawn about the middle, a shade worse than the middle, with the white sleeves and white cap. Hasna. They're set. Ready. And they're racing. Hasna didn't begin all that well. Came out in the second half of the field. The first to go was Merhoob, and Nibbler began in a big hurry. Regimental Gal's going fast. Now Muntz is going to ride Hasna back. She's midfield and about 4 or 5 deep. Around the first corner, 1,000 to go. Regimental Gal, the leader from Merhoob, and then Snippy third, followed by Spinning Boy. A length away, Nibbler, Dan Bird got into trouble on the fence, then Dansoir. Then came Hasna, midfield a little bit wide from La Spellia, Helter Skelter. Kaznadim is deep, How Funny's with that bunch. Then came Express Ball. Dress Code's a long way back from Charm View, and Imperialism is last of all. They're coming to the bend of the 500. Regimental Gal led from Merhoob, Dansoir. Hasna's got to run through the field in a big hurry. Kaznadim is deep and Dan Bird's behind them. Regimental Gal led up the 300. Merhoob's in hot pursuit. Hasna lost his spot. Spinning Boy and Dan Bird and How Funny down the outside. Regimental Gal from Merhoob. How Funny on the outside is finishing brilliantly. Regimental Gal is still the leader. Dan Bird and How Funny. Regimental Gal's just in front. Regimental Gal won the millions from either How Funny or Dan Bird. Then Dress Code, Snippy, followed by Merhoob. The next time in the race behind those, Spinning Boy. Then came Hasna, Nibbler, Express Ball, Helter Skelter, Imperialism, Charm View. Kaznadim's a long way back with Dansoir, and La Spellia has pulled up near the tail of the field. Regimental Gal for Sean Dwyer and Michael Rodd. Michael Rodd continues his fairy tale run. Unbelievable. 13, Regimental Gal, Michael Rodd the winner. The judge will require the photo for second and third. between How Funny and Dan Bird. And Hasna, well, she didn't begin. That was the first start of the problem. She just didn't begin. Muntz then had to ride her back. He had no option. She was wide. She got a run through just on the point of the corner, but by the time she got around it, she'd lost ground. She appeared to wobble a bit around the bend.
What a sensation. Regimental Gal for Toowoomba winning the Magic Millions, Brendan.
Well, Sean Dwyer is just arriving here in the mounting yard. Unbelievable scenes. Big team of owners which reacted with great excitement. And Sean's just been... We might dive in and grab Sean, who's been collared on course. Sean Dwyer, amazing, mate. Just incredible.
Yeah, it's one for the state of origin.
That's one for a bloke going places too.
I don't care anymore. This is fantastic.
Is this the most incredible thing for you?
Oh, apart from marrying her. Yeah, no, it's... I've had a good life and this makes it real good, you know.
You put a lot in, mate. But this is a great reward at the end of it all, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic, you know. Some mornings you just want to throw the alarm away and you wonder why when you go into a bad trot, but it's fantastic.
Mate, I'm proud of you. Great job. Sean Dwyer there, a man from Toowoomba who did all of his work with the Bart Cummings team in Sydney. He learnt his trade with the Maestro, and that is something pretty big for a trainer you'll be hearing a lot more of.
What a great thrill for Sean Dwyer. Almost reduced to tears in the parade ring as he waits for his filly to return, Regimental Gal. Side by General Nadim, who himself was a pin-up horse in Queensland as a sprinter many years ago. So a great result for Queensland all round. And their star apprentice, Michael Rodd, the winning rider. OK, we'll leave it there for the moment as we wait for placings still to come through there. Race 7, Rose Hill, Irish Crusader is favourite for this feature event, the Underwood Cup, clearly at $2.50. Here's Ron Dufficy with his thoughts now.
Race 7 here at Rose Hill, numbers 10, 7, 3 and 6. Gee, short enough Irish Crusader, probably that Beedman factor riding the past few winners, but he's a progressive, staying type of horse who hasn't put a foot wrong this preparation. Much, much better in the ring than what he is on the tote, though. 7, Lauren Alargi, liked his run in the Tats Cup, looks well placed at the weights here. 3, Raw Instinct, judge him on his last start win. He'd be figuring right in the finish here. He's got a good record, 10 wins from 27 starts. Number 6, Hebe Reeby, wanted a bit of odds, second up into this race, but looks like he's done a power of work. Tricky race, 10 on top, Irish Crusader. Hardest to beat 7, Lauren Alargi, and 3, Raw Instinct.
Michael Rodd returning to scale aboard the Magic Millions winner, Regimental Gal. And we've got placings now. Still 13 in a photo. OK, very tight for second and third there. Perhaps we've got a dead heat on our hands. Now, as they prepare to move in at Rosehill Gardens, let's view the betting order. And it's Irish Crusader from the Ronnie Quinton stable. That's the top pick for the Underwood Cup this afternoon at $2.60. This race worth just over $70,000 in prize money. It'll be run over 2,000 metres, and Irish Crusader is certainly the horse in form at the moment. A last start winner at Randwick. And yes, we have got a dead heat at the Gold Coast for second. Let's join Brendan Parnell, who has the details.
Fantastic job with her.
Undefeated you are on this girl. You've got a real special association.
Yeah, she tries the hard out for me. And, I mean, I've just got it easy in front again, as I said, and just pulled away from him.
A big day for you and a big day for Queensland.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Michael Rodd saying a few words after winning the feature race on the Gold Coast today for the first time in his career. He's had a lot of success in a short time, Michael Rodd. You'll be hearing a lot more about him over the next 10 years or more. Now, those placings, 13, 4 and 11 dead heating for second, Dan Bird and How Funny. The Quinella, 11, 13, 36, 10, 4 and 13, 30, 60. The trifecta on the numbers 13, 11, 4, $472, or if you had them in the order of 13, 4, 11, $443. Now let's go to Ian Craig at Rosehill Gardens for his call of the Underwood Cup for 2003.
Now, Joe, just linking in Thorne Park, I was just commenting triumphant return in the previous. Darren Beedman, number 10, beat 3 Clay Shaker, 8 Pearly Kings and Kingsgate 1. Just about ready for action here in the Winning Edge Presentations Cup, the Frank Underwood Cup, as it's been known for many, many years. 2,000 metres, and the popular pick Irish Crusader. Can Darren Beedman win his 4th race this afternoon? Thorne Park, of course, for Darren, effortlessly in the previous. Just waiting on a couple of them to steady. Racing this time, and the early leader is Arlington Road from Diarman, and the Carp Gunners right up there, so too majestically. Then Lauren Alaji. Stowaway pratted out pretty wide, and then comes Irish Crusader, Hebe Rebe, Typhoon and Raw Instinct, and then gone, and last of all is Ferocity. They travel almost 400 metres now. It's Arlington Road, a clear-cut leader from Stowaway. On the rails, third is Diarman, then Carp Gun between Lauren Alaji wide and majestically on the inside. 2.5 then to Hebe Rebe on the outside of the favourite Irish Crusader. Raw Instinct is next, and then Typhoon, followed by Gone at about 5 lengths Ferocity. Arlington Road leads clearly down the back of the track and heading to the 1200 marker. Arlington Road a length Stowaway, then Diarman, followed by Carp Gun majestically, and then the Queenslander Lauren Alaji. Length and a half Irish Crusader parked inside Hebe Rebe, followed by Typhoon. Raw Instinct on the outside, 2 Gone, and about 3/4 Ferocity. They work their way to the halfway pole at the 1,000 at Arlington Road in front, and being rated nicely by young Mitch Newman as Arlington Road. A length and a half on his stablemate Stowaway from Diarman, and then Carp Gun majestically, followed by Laurel and Argy as they leave the 800 peg behind them. Irish Crusader midfield inside Hebe Rebe, and then Typhoon, Raw Instinct, Gone going up 3 and 4 wide, and 3 or 4 lengths to Ferocity as they come to the 600 marker. And it's Arlington Road, a length and a half on Stowaway, niggled at a fraction to Diarman, a length Carp Gun, followed by Lauren Alaji, and then near enough to the inside majestically, and the favourite Irish Crusader sticking to the fence. He's made up 2 or 3 lengths on him, Darren, in the last 300. At the 300 marker, however, Arlington Road in front, the stablemate having a shot, Stowaway, and Irish Crusader comes between them, and then majestically and Diarman. Irish Crusader to Arlington Road majestically. It's Irish Crusader in front majestically trying to reach him. Oh, won't be much between them. Irish Crusader and majestically on the line from Arlington Road, and then came Diarman, Stowaway, followed by Laurel Alaji and Typhoon, Raw Instinct, and then Ferocity, Gone, good margin, Carp Gun at absolute was Hebe Rebe. Close finish here. Again, they race away from us. Irish Crusader, ridden by Darren Beedman, and on his outside majestically ridden by Corey Brown. And the judge having a look at the finish links to work out what'll win it. Let's have a look at this freeze. It's a ground shot which favours the inside horse. That is Irish Crusader. You've just got to allow a little for the outside, and believe you me, there is very, very little between these two horses. As I've often said to you, we're not on the line here at Rosehill Gardens. Makes it very, very difficult to interpret. And why try and interpret when in doubt? Because you've got the judge to do the work for you. It is desperately close. Let's have a look at the horses. 10 Irish Crusader at 3:10, majestically number 5 at 7:30. Time for the race 2:01.90, and the winner is Majestically Gets It. Number 5 has arrived in the nick of time. That is Majestically, written by Corey Brown. That result was in doubt until the judge semaphored the number by Maroof, trained by Jack Denham for Mr. Graham and Mrs. Julie Pash, and written by Corey Brown. Corey beating his arch rival Darren Beedman on Irish Crusader by O'Reilly from Expo Eve. Ronnie Quinton. And third goes to number 2, and that is Arlington Road by Dane Hill. Nicely rated in front by Mitch Newman, just not quite good enough. Gatwater House and the stablemate of Arlington Road.
A narrow victory in the feature to Majestically this afternoon, and that'll keep former STC chairman Graham Pash very happy, no doubt he's trackside watching today. Now we're going to take a break on Sky Racing and be back to show you race 7 at
Well, Michelle, Cognition I thought was brilliant winning at Flemington last start. Does barrier 1 concern you at all? No, not at all. She's drawn the barrier one before, and she's a really easy horse to ride. You can put her anywhere, and she settles well, and she's got a really good turn of foot.
Because she did get back a fair bit the other day. Will it be the case today?
No, the other day she drew the outside, and there was no hope of me getting in sliding forward. I was just hoping if I got back and tried to slide in and get a bit of cover, but it didn't work out that way. But she still got the money.
Yeah, true. But it's amazing, and isn't it good when you can ride a horse from any type of position and they still perform?
Yeah, it's great. She's really consistent. She tries her best every start, and yeah, she's just a really good little race mare.
Just like you are, a good little jockey.
Thanks.
Michelle Payne, and well, she's riding in great form. Let's hope she can win the lucky last on Cognition.
Okay, thanks, Alf. Now we're 2 minutes away from race 7 at Morfettville this afternoon.
From the top, it's unders, Cognition value, Danewich value, Largo square across the board, Maruch just unders, and you can forget about the rest. And as I speak, Shah Alamar comes in even more. 2 ahead of 3, 4 and 5.
Thanks, Alf, and we're 3 away from post time for the last at Caulfield. Correct weights on the Underwood Cup at Rose Hill. Placings were 5, 10, 2 there. Quinella $12 and the Trifecta paying $109, with the last race at Rose Hill scheduled for 5:30 this evening. Now, if you've not caught up with the news from the Gold Coast, they're not paying on the Magic Millions just yet. We have a protest underway, 5th versus 4th. It's alleged interference to have occurred over the last 100 metres of the race. The placings are 13, 4 and 11 dead heated for second. Number 3 was third, and 4th there was number 7. Now let's take a break on Sky Racing. Back shortly for the final event at Caulfield.
Money for Shah Elmer, number 8. Has trimmed in a few points, still good overs at $14. They're filling the stalls now for race 8. Moonee Valley Harness card tonight. Lombo La Fifi, this outstanding filly, is in again tonight. Also the Grass Track Championship, which is the first race on the card, is one of the features. And also the feature event for the mares with Pete Stream and Nola Rama, 2 outstanding mares. Amongst others in a good field, Lombo Skyrider, another one of the stars that's racing tonight as we get closer to the Sky Channel Nights of Glory Carnival. Now they're getting close to the start. Flemington tomorrow. Good card there. 8 races tomorrow at Flemington. The last at Caulfield coming up. And the mares are locked away. The favourite is Cognition at $3 on Super Tab. Michelle Payne with the ride. They're racing on the last, caught them in a beautiful line. Now one of the first to appear is Powder Burn from Danewich, and Cognition will be right up on the speed third, box eating. From Largo up to 4th, then Rows of Archers. Maruch is wider but pressing forward. Bondbird's over on the rails, second to last, and Shah Elmer whips them in on settling down. It's about 8 lengths off the lead. Powderburn slows the tempo, leads half a length Danewich, 2 lengths to Cognition, third on the inside of Largo. Maruch obliged to race wide around Rows of Archers and Bondbird, 2 away Shah Elmer. Along the railway side they head with 800 left to travel. Danewich getting level with Powderburn, now drawing about a half a length in front of it and now taking up the running. Danewich is allowed to slide along here and has got out by about 2.5 lengths on Powderburn. Cognition's in third position. It's getting away from the rails now, and then came Largo. Maruch is still wide from Bondbird, the rails, Rows of Archers, and Shah Elmer last and 6 lengths off the leader Danewich. Up to the turn, Danewich a length, Powderburn, which switches around its heels. Cognition's now 3 out, but ridden along and 4 deep as Maruch. Largo under the whip, turning for home. Danewich joined again by Powderburn. On the outside, Maruch has been wide all the way, but it's still coming. Then Cognition under pressure, next Largo, then Shah Elmer. Danewich kicking back. Powderburn though with its head in front of Danewich. Largo's running on wider out, but it's Powderburn with 50 to go in front. Largo's flying. Powderburn wins it. Powderburn a half ahead. Largo second, and third home Danewich from Maruch, Cognition, Shah Elmer, Rows of Archers and Bondbird. Time 124.39. Powderburn, Reese McLeod, well, it led, then got the cover when Danewich went around it. And it's come again in a big odds, 24.70 and 5.20 on Super Tab. Powderburn. Largo 160 and $1.80 for the third place getter in the final event. Powderburn coming down from Queensland. In fact, she's been all over the place in the last a few months, well, throughout the year. Only had the 2 wins prior to today, but it's been a pretty convincing effort to hold off Largo, who just lost touch with the leaders on the turn, coming again on the line. Post just coming up too quick for it. On the last, it's 6-4-3, fourth in number 5. I hope you've enjoyed the day at Caulfield. It hasn't been so kind. There's plenty of racing to come. Good luck.
Yes, many rough results today at Caulfield, with an upset in the last caused by Powderburn. That protest has ended at the Gold Coast, and placings will stand as 13, 4 and 11 dead heating. For second there, Danbird and How Funny. So correct weight is there, you can collect.